970,000.
Over 1 million Lagosians, they know that if you give me your afternoon, I will give you hard facts.
Well done, Sandra, on all you do, going beyond the headlines and focusing on the facts.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day: Nigeria has approved the R21 malaria vaccine. We're now the second country in the world to approve the Oxford University vaccine after Ghana. Second hard fact of the day: airport workers have gone on a warning strike for today and tomorrow. This will disrupt travel plans for some of you, I'm sure. If you're planning to travel by air today or tomorrow, talk to me about it throughout the show today. 1 million Lagosians listen to this show. They cannot be wrong. So thank you for tuning in today alongside them. You're in great company. I've got a great show for you today, starting with the big three. Let's talk about, it's a big weekend because it's a Monday. So let's talk about the INEC brouhaha over the weekend. So you have INEC disowning the Adamawa Rex announcement. Then we'll talk about the federal government returning the Benin bronzes to the Oba of Benin. Let's also talk about builders rejecting the official explanation of the Banana Island building collapse. Oh, yes. Then let's talk about flood killing a 4-year-old in Lagos. And then let's talk about NECA's warning about raising taxes. At 4 o'clock, it's the I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions. It's entering the semi-finals today. Ramadan Oladipupo Olalikon will take on Tamvita Kaushik. On the big hard fact, let's talk some more about the Adamawa Guba drama. It's the biggest story in the country at the moment. As usual, we'll have news updates at the top of the hour every hour before I hand you over to the newsroom for the newsroom at 6. But of course, we'll get started with today's big weekend. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, Lagos. These are your hard facts.
The big weekend.
Do we need new rules to keep INEC accountable during elections? Do the findings from the Banana Island building collapse make sense? How is Lagos preparing for the next flood season? Can the Nigerian economy afford raising taxes? And can the federal government afford to not raise taxes? It was a big weekend. Lagos, let's talk. More election drama this weekend. You're seeing what's happening in Adamawa now. Abi, Lagos. Abi, are you seeing what's happening in Adamawa? They had a supplementary election on Saturday for the Guba election in Adamawa. Because remember, the election was inconclusive in March because they didn't have results from some councils. Results now started coming in on Saturday night. The state collation officer, Professor Mele Mohammed, gave the results of 10 out of 20 councils, and based on those results, Governor Amadu Fintiri of the PDP was in the lead. Collation stopped on Saturday night, and Mohammed said he would resume Sunday morning at 11. But that's when the drama started. Early on Sunday morning, the REC, Hudu Yunusa, showed up at the collation center and declared a result. He declared that Aishatu Binani of the APC had won the election. After that, INEC headquarters in Abuja told Nigerians to disregard that declaration. Festus Okoye said, quote, "The attention of the commission has been drawn to a purported declaration of winner in the Adamawa governorship election by the REC, even when the process has clearly not been concluded. The action of the REC is a usurpation of the power of the returning officer. It is null, void, and of no effect. Consequently, the collation of results of the supplementary election is hereby suspended." End quote. Okoye called this a usurpation because under the law, only the returning officer can declare a winner at an election, in an election. Also, the guidelines are clear. A result cannot be announced if the outstanding votes are large enough to cancel the current lead. INEC HQ has also invited the REC and some other officials to come to Abuja and explain themselves. It's quite the situation, Lagos. We have INEC headquarters accusing a REC of violating the Electoral Act to declare a fraudulent result. So I think we have to ask serious questions about how things got to this point at INEC, because Lagos, you have critics of INEC saying that the situation with the presidential election at the national level has emboldened this REC at state level. Do you agree with these critics? Because when you look at the petitions by the PDP and LP, they're accusing Mahmoud Yakubu of not following the guidelines during the presidential election. They're claiming that he did not do his job as returning officer in the presidential poll. A returning officer has the final say. They can reject an incorrect or fraudulent result and insist on the right process being followed. In fact, that's what INEC Abuja is now calling for in Adamawa. Then there's the question of oversight. Does INEC have too much freedom to decide whether or not to follow its own rules? Because we keep hearing go to court. That's what INEC said to the political parties when they started complaining during the presidential elections. Now in Adamawa, we've seen that INEC is accusing a part of INEC of being lawless. But imagine if INEC Abuja had gone along with this REC. Would we now be hearing go to court? So that raises the question, can INEC be trusted to police itself during election? Or does there need to be some process for making sure in real time, I love that word, that the INEC officers at all levels are following the rules? How wanna see this matter, Lagos? 0700-993-993-993. That's for men. 0700-993-993 for men. Women, call me on 01-465-7190. We're going to talk about this a bit more at 5 p.m. But for right now, let's eat a bit of an appetizer, shall we? Because there are so many things that happened over the weekend. So we're not really going to have time to really get into this story. But not to worry, 5 to 6, this is what we're talking about. 99.3, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for calling. What's your name, ma'am?
Joy.
Joy, talk to me. Welcome. Hi, Joy. Oh, that's unfortunate. Joy, call back if you can. 99.3, hello. Hello? Is anyone there? All right, give us a call back if you can. We've got a message here on WhatsApp from Olusoga Ajayi in Ikorodu. Olusoga Ajayi says, the president was perfected in the last presidential election and other INEC officials took it to the next height. The Adamawa INEC man just pushed the established fraud pattern to a new level. Others are learning too. Subsequent elections will witness more bizarre election manipulation patterns if INEC doesn't stick to their own laws during transmission, collation, and announcement of results. Olusoga, thank you for your message. 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. I think we may be having some issues with connectivity on the phone lines, but keep trying. If not, send us a message on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Finally, you're my first caller. What's your name, sir?
Hi, my name is Fumi.
Fumi, talk to me.
Okay, all right. So, for me, it's like we are getting to the point where we need to bring in independent, unbiased foreigners to conduct processes in our country. Because if the INEC cannot trust itself to do the due diligence of conducting, simple elections and trusting its results, or having the people trust the result the INEC is producing, then what's the point? Yeah, and, sorry to take it back, because the trauma from the election is why a lot of people are disgruntled about the census that is about to be conducted. Aside the fact that the timing is bad, then with the shambles and the fiasco of the election, what guarantee do we have that even the census will be conducted in a proper manner? Would the process be the same? Would it be as shambolic as that of the election? Or would they come and say they want to use beavers to be doing census? And they will tell you that they are not electronically transmitting the results to the collation center. There are a lot of things that they need to get right. And it sounds really bad. And, I don't know what anybody would want to do, but there's too much partisanship with a lot of processes. If, for instance, this election happened in a country like in the US, I'm sure a lot of people would have been arrested by now. But there's a lot of partisanship, there's a lot of this. If one party didn't win the election, I'm sure the party that is saying go to court will be the same people that will be fighting the process because they feel, it was unfair to them. And the whole dismissiveness about it's just messed up. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Fumi, for calling us at 99.3. Hello.
Hello?
How you doing? What's your name, sir?
Sandra, my sister, this is Obi calling from Ikeja.
Obi, talk to me.
So, Sandra, I don't see anything different from what happened on 25th September.
Okay.
I remember when Dino Milaya was telling the INEC chairman to review what happened. He refused and announced the result. For me, I stand Benin, whether you people agree or not, she's the governorship elect. If INEC is angry, they should go to court. Thank you very much.
Obi. Now, wow. All right, let's take a look at messages we've got on WhatsApp now. Mamie says, we know the shame for this country. God will heal us. Okay. This one's from Pastor Daniel in Igondo. Pastor Daniel says, what we're seeing is in INEC is a support for... Is a support to Alliance for Progressive Criminality. How long are we going to be seeing this kind of criminality? God help us. All right. Let me speak with PJ in Ogun State. Hi, PJ.
Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sandra, my own contribution is this issue. For me, I think we are spending a lot in this electoral process.
Okay.
In the sense that since INEC have said that the result will be uploaded on the iRace, why don't we do it in this way? Even in the state, that as soon as the results, people after voting is being counted, they upload it immediately. Then all the party agents will collect their own copy. Then INEC in Abuja might give 30 or 1 hour, say go back to check if the result you are having there, if it tallies the one we have in Abuja. Once it tallies, they declare the winner. And that will save us all this mess that we have find ourselves. I am telling the truth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling, PJ from Ogun State. We've got Emma in Ogun State on the line, or Emma. Emma, hi. Emma, are you there?
Sandra.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for that.
Oh, I'm glad to have you here. Talk to me.
Yes. What the INEC officials are doing are very, very wrong.
Okay.
So I want that man to be punished.
Okay.
I want him to be punished because those are the people that are keeping this country in this condition we are today.
Okay. All right, Emma. Thank you for calling. Steve is in Ijaniki. Steve says, I've not seen or heard this type of desperation in the history of elections in the world. Is it by force to get a particular party to produce a governor? God wants us to see clearly the kind of political powermongers we have in the polity. It's unfortunate that elections that would have redeemed Buhari from all the failures of his government is ending up in a total shame to all those involved, especially the woman who wants to be governor at all costs. I'm getting ashamed of being a Nigerian by the day. All right, Lagos, while you mull over that story, let's come back home here where I have updates on the Lagos Banana Island building collapse. Last week, Lasema told us that the building went down because a vehicle crashed into it. But now we have different building professionals coming out to say that this explanation cannot be the whole story. Olajumoke Adenowo is the principal architect at AD Consulting, and she said, quote, a cement truck running into one column cannot bring down a properly designed and executed structure the way this one came down. A building does not rest all its load on one singular column. This is the beginning of a narrative to exonerate culpable parties, end quote. Another architect, Shogo Yoshide, said, quote, the entire building was structurally distressed. It was just a matter of time before the building would have still collapsed with or without the impact of any vehicle. It is better the building collapsed now than collapsing maybe 6 or 9 months later when there are more activities going on with plenty of people in the building. The number of casualties would have been terrific, end quote. So you have these architects insisting that if this building were in good condition, a collision to one pillar would not have been enough to bring it down. Just like I asked last week, if you are a building professional, I want to know if you agree. And if it is true, if these professionals are correct, it raises again the question of what government needs to be doing differently to stop substandard construction. Meanwhile, the state government has paused all new construction on Banana Island. They said that they want to use this pause as an opportunity to check on these projects. Do you think this is a good idea? Does it make sense? If the same thing isn't being done in other areas, does it make sense? And what does it say about past inspections? Does it mean the authorities were not properly inspecting construction projects before now? Doesn't that mean that some heads should be rolling right now? 0700-993-993-993 01465-7190. And yes, you can still talk to me about Adamawa if you want to, or you can simply talk to me about our second story right now. Still to come, I've got more stories coming your way as well. Lagos, don't forget that I mentioned that the federal government says that the Oba of Benin must be the custodian of all returned artifacts to Benin. So we'll talk about that as well. 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hi, good afternoon. Hello? Is anyone there? Oh, that's unfortunate. Call back if you can, please. 99.3, hello. Okay, looks like the phone lines are not cooperating today. So let's go to WhatsApp where we have so many messages. Mark from Lekki says, you don't need to go to church and pray before you know that there should be serious rules guiding INEC. There should be rules and regulations that should hold them accountable, even if it means sending offenders to at least 10 years in prison with hard labor. You'll see that electoral malpractices will vanish in Nigeria. But that's the thing, my guy. There are serious rules guiding INEC. The problem is that INEC decides which of the ones they will follow and which of the ones they will not. And there are no consequences for when they decide which of the ones they will follow and which of the ones they will not. Ade from Surulere says, Nigerians should be highly embarrassed and ashamed of the disgraceful, shocking, pathetic comedy in Adamawa. Another sham of a performance by INEC. The exact pathetic performance from INEC during all the general elections, especially the shambolic display over the fraud patterns of the presidential election. It's amazing that the APC are involved again. INEC cannot be trusted anymore. We probably need a foreign independent group to conduct our future elections. A total embarrassing mess generally. I should weep for Nigeria. Don't cry for me, Argentina. We've got a message here from Gambo. Gambo in Lekki says, Nigeria, my country. Can we still trust INEC after all of these? Okay. This one here from Charles says, Sandra, where can we get malaria vaccine, John? Now that one I want to know. You never reach, no worry. Once that information pure, I go show you how far. Wole is in Aja. Hi, Wole. Thank you very much for calling us. Hello, Wole.
Okay.
You're live on the show. Talk to me.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I want to comment on the issue of the INEC.
Yes, please. Talk to me.
Yeah. All of us in this country, we know what really happened during the February 25 presidential election.
Okay.
The INEC chairman did a very poor job, which everyone is aware of that.
Okay.
And the whole international global country is aware of it. And then what has happened now in Adamawa State is just a reflection of what happened in the February 25 presidential election. The INEC chairman and the entire institution lacked the real moral integrity to invite the reg in Adamawa State or question him on any issue at all, because they have already failed and he is just acting on what he has learned from his boss, and the entire institution has already accepted it. They should only ask him to go to court. Let them tell the Adamawa State governor that was defeated to go to court. And that is what they have been telling all the defeated candidates in the way they have been conducting the election. They have done their own. Let them ask him to go to court. The election has been declared already. I think that is the way to follow.
All right, Wole, thank you for calling. Wole says INEC HQ lacks the moral right to invite the Adamawa wreck to come and answer questions. Do you agree with Wole? Emeka, unfortunately, I'm going to have to take a break and come back to you. So please, Emeka from Surulere, if you can call us back, please give us a call back because we have I don't have time. It's very clear for this break. I don't have the time to do it, so we'll take a break. When we come back, let's talk about Benin bronzes. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Nigeria Info 99.3. This is Hard Facts.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
For some of our debaters,
Sincerely, I don't want to wait till I graduate from this school before I think of what to do with my life.
Exactly. I am going to seriously work on my music skills. Let me use my talent well, I beg.
I would like to be a radio presenter, but I don't know how to go about it.
But why is Simi so quiet today?
Sorry, ladies. I'm taking this interesting course on how to become a professional scriptwriter. You too can also learn how to become a radio presenter on Wazobia Academy.
Wazobia Academy?
Yes, Wazobia Academy provides accessible and affordable online training in filmmaking, music business, fashion, radio hosting, and lots more. You also stand a chance to be selected for internship in leading production companies, radio stations, music, and fashion studios for hands-on experience. It's easy. Simply log on to www.wazobiaacademy.com or call 0908-826-5038 for more details.
Wazobia Academy. Learn and lead.
I'm from Lafarge. I beg, sign for here.
What do you they look for there? I they look. What that means get delivery. You don't look inside the bags of Lafarge cement where you buy. Inside the bag? Yes, nah. Lafarge they reward the better customers there for the Lafarge buy and win promo where they shell from the 10th of April to the 15th of May 2023. See, when you buy any Lafarge cement, if you find Lafarge scratch card inside, scratch them, load them, carry go. Now you get them. But if you find any other gifts, just call the phone number where they the card. They get where you find there. They go carry and go give you.
Now so, you don't hear up? You fit to win microwave oven, water dispenser, fan, bag of rice, carton of noodles, recharge card, and other better things for the Lafarge buy and win promo. Check posters for more to you. Terms and conditions they shall.
Lafarge, building progress.
For some of our debaters, the final four is about payback.
We all know that Nigeria suffers unstable network connections.
For some, it's about lightning striking twice.
So you mentioned that they don't no longer settle land disputes. Like seriously?
For some, it's about redemption.
Voting is more than just a choice. It is a civic duty.
And for others, it's about business as usual.
We gave cryptocurrency 9 years to take off. It's barely been 2 years.
And while those motives are all valid, when the action is over next week, only two will still count. The semi-finals are next on the INEC Tournament of Champions. Monday, one winner.
My name is Sandra Ezekwesili.
One winner. Tuesday,
my name is Ruth Okorocha.
One winner.
I'm Deborah Pamzad.
One winner, 2 million naira. Join me, Sandra Ezekwesili, your moderator, 4 p.m. Monday and Tuesday on 99.3 Nigeria Info FM. And the next day on Wazobia Max TV at 3:30 p.m. This tournament is brought to you by Paystack in association with Sunu Assurances, supported by Stover Industries, obiwisi.com, RLG Communications, Just Delight Non-Dairy Ice Cream, and Wazobia Max TV.
Listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. The federal government says the Oba of Benin must be the custodian of all returned artifacts. As you know, Europe has started returning some of the Benin bronzes that were stolen during the sack of Benin in 1897. But there's been a debate over who should control and possess them. Governor Godwin Obaseki wanted the federal government to give the artifacts to his state government. But the Oba of Benin made it clear that while the monarchy still stands, only the Oba can be the rightful custodian. And the federal government now says it agrees. So as the artifacts are returned, the federal government says they will hand them over to the Oba and the institutions of the Kingdom of Benin. Now, before this, some Nigerians were worried about whether there's enough capacity to take care of these priceless items. And the Oba of Benin has an answer for that. The Oba says the Royal Museum within the palace complex is being upgraded to international standards to manage the bronzes. Previously, we heard that some German museums have agreed to help upgrade the museum, run the museum, then train Benin indigents to take over the museum from them. And I think at the time I asked you if you thought that this was a good arrangement. I'm asking the same question again. Do you think this is a good arrangement? 0700-993-993-993. We've got 3 stories out so far. I took you to Adamawa, where we have a lot of drama with INEC there. Then I brought you back to Lagos, where the building that collapsed at Banana Island has builders disagreeing with Lasema over the cause of the collapse of that building. And now I've taken you to Benin, where the artifacts stolen from the Benin Kingdom will be returned to the Oba of Benin. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is the big weekend on Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 01465-7190 for women. 0700-993-993-993 for men. Hello. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello,
What's your name, ma'am?
Yeah, this name we're calling.
Talk to me.
So I want to react on the hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
The Adamawa
story. Go ahead.
So hello.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, what the APC is doing now is like it's just they are making caricature of the judiciary because they believe that anything that they will do, they will send it to court. They've already known that court will not give you justice immediately, so they will be there doing whatever they want to do. So this one is just like a kingdom fighting each other.
Okay.
So I don't know how they're going to settle this one.
Okay.
Sandra, please, I want you to help me and do something now.
What's that?
Just help me and fast forward the time. I want 4 o'clock. Now. Please, I want to hear our children. Ramadan, my guy, and the other girl. I want to hear them. I've already got my fire extinguisher. I hope you have gotten yours.
I've gotten mine, yes.
Oh, this studio today, oh God.
Oh God. Thank you for calling. We've got Paul in Ikorodu on the line. Hi, Paul.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I want to talk about the Adamawa
story. Yes, please.
Happened.
Talk to me. Go ahead, please.
This is a serious coup.
Okay.
That lady was just very seriously desperate to be governor.
Okay.
The PDP won the election.
Okay.
Which they know.
Okay.
How can they say that they want to collect the other result before they announce it? They now announce it before the actual time they predicted. That to show you how desperate she is to be governor. But it's only unfortunate she's a failure. They will declare the winner to the PDP. Just mark this thing that I say.
Okay.
Paul from Ikorodu.
All right, Paul from Ikorodu says it's not going to work. All right, then 99.3, hello.
Hello, Sandra. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
You're great. This is Alex.
Talk to me, Alex.
So, Sandra, if this guy could single-handedly just stand up from his house and just come to, the podium and say, this is... Don't you wonder that why did we have to have an election at all? Why did we have to spend money? Why did we have to go through all of the rigors of getting an election? If one person can just get up and say, oh, this is the person who won the election. Have you listened to the Senator Elisha Abu today?
Yes, I have.
Where he says that the INEC right now does not have the power to nullify what they have announced. But my question to Elisha Abu is, did the announcing, not the announcing, did it meet the basic standard of INEC that this is the what do you call this officer now, who should do the announcement instead of the rec? How can you pass that as an official declaration of who the winner is? You asked the question that can INEC police itself, and I say no. INEC can never police itself. If one person can mess up a system so badly, I design business process workflows. If one person can mess up a system, that's why I talk a lot about technology.
Right.
Yes, if one single person can mess up a whole system where we spent 344 billion, or I can't remember how much it is that we spent, then you have not quite arrived at designing a useful business or a process flow. I called Sheriff this morning about motivation and consequences, and I said that the motivation in Nigeria to do wrong is so high, it totally drowns out the consequence. INEC cannot police itself. We should now be looking at consequence that goes something like maybe 15 to 20 years. We talked about the 2 billion naira bribe that they said that somebody was given, the officer, the rec, right? And I'm saying that if there was a consequence of like 15 to 18 years in jail, that gentleman would have been taken in by now. So INEC cannot police itself. It cannot police itself. If there's a consequence as high as 18 years, even if you collect your 2 billion, by 18 years' time, it will be of no value to you. So INEC cannot police itself.
INEC cannot police itself, Alex says. We've got John in Abuja on the line. Hi, John.
Sandra, I'm not happy.
Why are you not happy? What's wrong?
Because you stayed too long with the other lady on the corner.
I'm
Why
sorry.
keeping me waiting?
I will stay long with you. Talk to me.
Okay. All right. You see, for the Adamawa election, I'm not happy what happened there. I mean, if you want to win election, you should win clean, clear. But what happened, I think everybody that's involved should be punished.
Okay.
And apart from that, I want Nigerians to know that INEC, we should give credit to INEC for cancelling that election immediately. And in as much as I want a lady to become a governor, I think it shouldn't be through this shameful process. That will be my contribution.
Thank you very much, Paul, for calling to contribute. Let's take a quick look at messages from WhatsApp now. Onoja Omale from Atan says, the popular slogan now is to go to court. So let Fintiri go to court if he is not comfortable with the announcement of Binani as governor-elect. I still find it amazing that people are complaining about INEC's poor performance during election. If I may ask, which institution is functioning well in Nigeria? Is it NEPA? Is it security? Is it water provision? Is it police? Is it education? Is it healthcare? Even sports? Is it the roads? What miracle do you expect from INEC? I beg, make everybody rest. That's Femi from Ikorodu with that message there. We've got this one here from Chima in Surulere, who says, what pains me most is that most of the people who comment on building collapse are truly incompetent to do so. Issues on building collapse should be the business of structural engineers. I won't talk any further. All right, Chima, if you're a structural engineer, talk to me about it. You know, everybody they talk the one with the feet talk from the angle with the feet talk. Olu from Badagry says the situation in Abuja and Adamawa are not the same. INEC chairman is the returning officer for presidential election, which is within his right to proclaim the winner. Adamawa Residential Electoral Commission doesn't have power to declare results. Even the election has not been concluded before the announcement. People should not compare the two. They are not the same. Olu from Badagry with that message there. We've got Goodness from Isolo who says what happened in Adamawa State is the reflection of what happened in the presidential election of the 25th of February 2023. Olisa from Aboju says, we joke with the lives of people in this country. What's the job of the Standard Organization of Nigeria? We've got Adegboye Adedeji who says, this Adamawa, is there any election in Nigeria that doesn't come with drama? This Adamawa case is not new. We've seen even worse than what we're witnessing in Adamawa. The truth is that INEC is not independent. Nigeria politicians are holding INEC by the jugular. INEC is choked, begging to breathe. We'll get it right the day INEC is independent. How are we sure that those returned artifacts are not the cloned types? Adeboyega with that suspicious comment there. Let me come back to the phone lines now. 99.3. Hello.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Ovie is my name.
Ovie, talk to me. Welcome.
Thank you. Dishonesty is at the root of everything that is done. So that makes it automatic for things not to get done properly.
Okay.
Now, where there's no consequence for wrongdoing, it is impossible to make progress in life. Totally impossible. Where there's no consequence for wrongdoing. So, if the man collected 20 billion, say, if he doesn't at the end of the day have access to that 20 billion because he forfeits both the money that he was paid and he gets sent to jail for 25 years, nobody will step into the water of trying to meddle with, announcing results that you have no business announcing. And it cuts across board. I'm an architect.
Okay.
The first statement by the Lagos State government was that an unapproved 7-story building. How does that sound to a right-thinking person? It's not a bungalow. It's not 1 story. 2 stories, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 floors. 8 floors went up without Lagos State government knowing about it. Till it collapsed. And suddenly, the first statement you make is, don't hold me accountable. I didn't know the building was going up. How ludicrous can that be? But like I said, it cuts across every strata of our life. Most Nigerians want to do good. But the example of doing bad and getting away with it is so loud that people just are not encouraged to do good. And that's why we find ourselves where we find ourselves. Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for calling. Juliet in Surulere is on the line. Hi, Juliet.
Hi, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Talk to me.
Okay, I want to talk about the Benin bronzes.
Yes, talk to me.
Now, it's important that we understand that the works looted from the Benin punitive expenditure were not only the works from the Oba's palace. The artworks comprised of mostly those from the Oba's palace, and then artworks and the collections from notable citizens of the city at that time. And so when the debate as to whom should these artifacts be returned to, the Edo State governor had to represent the other families, the other people who are saying, we too lost artifacts. And so if you're going to return these, what about our loss? Okay, so that is the argument. That is why the state wanted to take possession
of it,
of the returned works. And I state too has built a museum to house them as well. But personally, I think the Oba is the interested party that is not going to say, okay, these things are worth millions of dollars and pounds, so I am going to sell it. He is not invested. His office, I don't think they're invested in making profit out of it because these things have religious and other uses and significant implications for them. And so they will prefer to have them in their custody.
Right.
And so I support the work being returned to the Oba Palace.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Juliet, thank you so much for calling to share. 99.3, hello. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, ma'am?
Well done.
Thank you. What's your name?
This is Joseph from Shomolu.
Hi, Joseph. Talk to me.
Do you know this country we like to deceive ourselves? And it is a building that was not totally laid foundation will surely collapse. And that is what we are doing in Nigeria. Election has been taking place, people have been elected. Why are we disturbing ourselves? You are not INEC official. You personally give an answer that somebody that win this one, that win, that one, that win. Let everybody have peace. I want to tell you something.
Okay.
Do you know what we are doing now? This thing is just for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
After 4 years, another thing will still come up. And if God will have it, the mind that we want may come in. So that we will be dragging, and everybody will not have peace. Please, let us everybody go and have peace of mind. And let's continue our ways. Because we cannot just continue dragging over the same issue.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
That is why we have competent people to elect. If they do it wrong, we cannot judge them. If they do it right, we cannot judge. It's only God that can judge everybody. Am I lying?
Okay.
So, and again, for the one that said, I did not know when the building was going up, it's not a first building story, as somebody said. It's not a second building story. It's 7 to 8 buildings. And you say you don't know. You don't even value for anybody's life.
Hello?
We don't value for life. Everybody just doing the way they like. I pray that God will help us in Nigeria.
Amen. Thanks for calling. We've got Paul in Egbeda on the line. Hi, Paul.
Yeah, Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Talk to me.
Yeah, Sandra, I have my doubts because we don't have the technology to ascertain or verify that what they are returning to Benin is not a cloned one. We don't have that technology to know if it's actually the one stolen since about 400 years ago.
We do. There's technology to know if what's being returned is the actual one.
Nigeria has that technology.
Well, Nigeria doesn't need to have it, but at the point of the handover, we're going to have to inspect the bronzes and, of course, certify that this is what the people who are returning and see it is. Because we used what's the word I'm looking for now? We used consultants and other professionals. This process has been going on for a while. Now, of course, I'm not holding brief for anyone, but we've done all the things that we can do from our end to ensure that what we're getting back is what was actually stolen.
Okay. Then secondly, as regards to Adamawa issue, you see, I think we are drifting. We are drifting towards something I wouldn't want to mention on air. I hope and I pray that the law of the land will catch up with this very man that did this announcement. Okay. Because if he's let to go scot-free, somebody else will do more than or worse than what he has done. Because this is unbelievable. I was shocked yesterday when I heard it. I said, can this be real or a tale by moonlight? Well, it is well.
Paul, thanks for calling. Please, it's not only God that can judge bad people relating to that caller in Nigeria. We have law courts and judges. We've started this leave it to God attitude again in Nigeria, Fred says. Fred, I quite agree with you. We've got Tony from Birmingham who says, my prayer is that I need I think you meant to write INEC. Okay. Autocorrect is very funny sometimes. My prayer is that INEC must not set my beloved country Nigeria backwards. Pure and simple. All right. Thank you for your message. We've got this one here from Steve. Steve says, please make we leave Nigeria matter and switch straight to I beg to differ. This is the only thing giving me joy these days. Don't worry. It's in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, I beg to differ will start. We've got... Fred says, Sandra, did you watch the announcement video? Some people get mine for this country. The guy had a plain paper, said he wanted to say something, and he walked out of the hall like, I don't give a damn. I watched the news on TVC, and they were even showing the cement truck parked at the emergency response boss, parked as the response boss was saying his finding. To be hearing these professionals say this is interesting. I think the residents with CCTV that may have captured it from different angles should start releasing the footage. The one I saw from a resident on a balcony was like the building came down like a Lego game, or building was brought down by dynamite. Fred, thanks for your message. This one here says, concerning the artifacts of Benin, the same thing happened in Benin Republic from France. France returned our ancestors' faith to Benin Republic last year or so. All right, thanks for your message. Martin in Lekki with that message there. We've got this one here from Basil in Agor Palace. Basil says, in regards to the Benin artifacts, are they also going to pay for the damage done to the Benin people? The money they made from the bronze, it's not just to return it. I hope they pay restitution. All right, Basil, thanks for your message. Interestingly, we had this conversation, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, when the conversation first started about the return of the artifacts. And some of the points that we raised at the time was, should restitution be made? Is it enough to just return the stolen bronzes? We've got this one here from Agaba in Lagos. Agaba says, we should not be surprised at any wrong done in this country anymore. Bad has become good in this nation. Please, we want to know how far with oil theft committee. Any reports so far? Have they been traced? Have they been able to trace the diverted pipe to the end point? Okay. Simon says, so the one that national chairman conducted in the court, conducted is in the court. Now this one, can INEC hand this man over to the police? If INEC hands this man over to the police, who should we hand the national chairman over to? Simon with that message there. Adeshola says, Sandra, globally is free and fair. Nigeria is a developing country. With time, normalcy will be in order. Globally is free and fair. That's a very interesting comment. You should be very worried if countries take a look at the processes in your country and call it free and fair, when they will not accept even an inch of what happened with your own elections and call it free and fair in their country. If an international observer looks at what happened, the killings, the death of even one person during an election, the ballot box snatched, the voter intimidation by tribe lines, the non-transparency of the entire process. If any international observer, any foreign country looks at that and says, oh, this is free and fair, you should be very wary of that person. You should say, this is a person that is not interested in my progress. This is a person that is not interested in my well-being. This is a person that is not interested in me becoming great, in my country becoming great. Because what they are saying is free and fair in your country, is acceptable in your country, is something they will never accept in their country. So they're essentially thinking of you as less than they are. And so when you quote them, you are accepting that they think that you are less than they are, and therefore you deserve less than they do. And I'm sorry, that's a very sad way to think of yourself or of your nation. We deserve actual free and fair elections. We deserve actual transparent processes. We deserve a country that works the way a majority of the people wants that country to work. We don't deserve management. We're not tired to manage. We'll take a break. After the break, it's time for I Beg to Differ. Don't go away.
Ernesto! Oga, wetin happen? I don't send a go market. I be the owe you money.
Oga pharmacy, no be your boy.